Welcome back to another great interview. This time we have Sarah. Um, Tell me if I pronounce it good. Stebbins
Yes.
and my friend Tiff Garb. So let's start with the meeting. So, what's your disability or diagnosis?
So I have several diagnoses, but the main ones that affect me are Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, gastroparesis, mast cell activation syndrome, and Chiari malformation.
Can you explain more about just like a little bit of your diagnosis?
Yeah. So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a connective tissue disorder. So all of your joints, the tissues that hold them together, like your ligaments and your tendons, those don't hold the joints correctly. It also affects all of the tissues in your organs, like your heart, your stomach, your intestines. So it can cause issues in pretty much every body system. Chiari malformation is basically my brain is too big for my head. So it tries to squeeze out the bottom and it causes really bad headaches. Gastroparesis means paralyzed stomach. So my stomach does not work the way it should to help digest food. And then mast cell activation syndrome is kind of a really bad allergy syndrome. Your body tries to be allergic to things that it shouldn't be, and it causes mast cells to break down, which cause allergic reactions.
Oh, so that sounds a little complicated.
I know there's a lot that goes on with it, but I've been learning a lot more about my diagnoses as much as I can.
Yeah. Tiff, will you do the next question?
Yes. Do you deal with chronic pain?
I do. So right now, actually, I have a really bad headache, and that's just how it is. I've had headaches every day since I was 6. I also deal with like widespread pain in general, and then in more of my bigger joints, so like my hips, my shoulders, my knees, I deal with pain there as well. Well, my neck too, but you know, it's just all kind of how it goes.
Yeah, sometimes it could be a little complicated to deal with.
Yes.
This kind of stuff. So
for sure.
Yeah, so next question. Do you use mobility aids? If so, how do they help you? And have you always used them?
That's a good question. So it depends on what's happening in my life. I have not used any mobility aids in the last quite a while, actually. But if I do have any major injury or if I'm having surgery, then I do use them. Usually it's crutches. I have a pair of smart crutches, which are really cool. They're like forearm crutches, so you don't have to put all your weight on your shoulders and your wrists. And I use those like when I broke my hip or when I dislocated my hip or when I had ankle surgery. And then a wheelchair is also really handy. And I've used that again when I had major ankle surgery. So that was great because I'd also just had shoulder surgery and wrist surgery. So I couldn't put all of my weight on any of my joints that I had been affected.
Well, you have gone through a lot of things.
Yes, but it's okay. It's gotten me to where I am today.
Yeah.
That's good though. What is the story that you could tell about your disability or diagnosis?
I have a lot of stories. I'll give some synopsis, a synopsis of a few stories rather. So when I was younger, I was always the kid to be injured. We didn't know why. I was just always hurt, and I got hurt doing the most ridiculous things. So that was one of those things that was kind of like my whole childhood was spent on crutches practically. And then as I got older, it got better. I think my favorite story right now is actually like how life is unfolding currently. I have my Instagram account, Sarah the Sick, and I have been able to connect with literally thousands of people. And it has been so cool to see others come together for this purpose of trying to find solace in having these issues, and we're all able to help each other in different ways. And it's been so amazing to see that and the friendships that have come out of it.
Yeah, sometimes when you get connection with other people with disabilities like Tiff and I do, sometimes you get more friendship or people that understands you better, and people like you feel otherwise other that you're not blood, you feel like they're
Right.
part of your family because they understand you.
Yeah. And I say that I call them my Instagram friends, but they're not. They're my real friends. Like at this point where we're not just internet buddies, it's gone further than that. And we understand each other on a level that nobody else can because of what we deal with.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Do you want to do the next one, Sil?
Yep. What are some of the struggles you face on a daily basis that are specifically related to your disability? Like we already talked about like some of it, but you have like another that you face on a daily?
Yeah. So I'm a high school teacher. I I have to deal with high school kids every day, and it's great fun. My students are actually some of the most understanding people when it comes to things like my feeding tube or having to wear a neck brace. They're like, oh, well, let us know if anybody says anything bad about you and we'll go beat them up. I'm like, well, that's not what I need. I need you to not beat people up. But I've had parents of students say that they don't want their kids in my class because of things going on or my illnesses affecting things. But I try my hardest to not let it affect my work, and my students are the best people. They're the ones that are super understanding, and their parents don't know what's going on, and they'll say like, oh, well, we don't want our kid in your class. And that really hurts more than anything else, because it's not affecting my ability to do my job. I am still this is going to sound very vain, but I'm still a great teacher. And, I leave my illness and I allow myself to just be fully present with my kids. So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes people doesn't understand that what we have as people with disabilities or chronic illnesses or other stuff doesn't have to really go in or affect our work.
Yeah. No, you're very right.
If there was one thing you could tell yourself, anything, what would it be and why?
If I could go back 10 years, and I say 10 years because that was when I was starting college and, dealing with a whole lot of this illness stuff all the time, I would tell myself that what I'm experiencing is real and that I will find help and I will find answers. And I say that to anybody else out there too, trying to figure it out. You will find help. Your pain, your suffering, whatever you're dealing with is incredibly valid, and you don't need answers, or you don't need a diagnosis for that to be true. So yeah, I would tell myself all of that, and that, what I'm dealing with is real, and I'm going to have a very amazing life if I fast forward 10 years.
Uh, how has your disability helped shape you as a person?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel that I'm a lot more understanding and empathetic towards people that have issues. Whether it's a disability or whether it's like an acute injury, but I feel like I can actually relate to people on a personal level because I've dealt with a lot of this for so long. I think it's made me a lot more empathetic as well towards others in general. I see when people hurt physically, mentally, emotionally, and I can kind of help be there for them for that.
Mm-hmm.
Tip, will you do the next question?
How does your disability shape or help you as a person?
So it's like I was saying, it's made me a lot more understanding of others. And I don't have to be like, man, I wish I knew what they were going through. I've dealt with a lot of it. And I can definitely be there for others who are experiencing things. I like to think that it's made me a lot more resilient. I heard no or we don't have an answer for you for 20 plus years, and it was really tough at times, but I haven't ever given up. I haven't, stopped. I might be down for a bit, but eventually I'll wipe off the tears and I'll get back up and keep fighting.
How do you deal with fear or of judgment or putting yourself out there, like out of the world, like you said, with your students, with parents, and stuff out there?
So, it gets to a point where you kind of just are like, well, this is what it is. So with the students and the parents, I give them enough information to know what's going on, but not every single detail. So I keep them involved, but not, they don't need to know everything that's happening. With putting myself out there online, it's been a little different recently because I've dealt with some online bullying. But I keep everything incredibly honest and truthful. I have never tried to claim something or state something that isn't true. Everything that I have put online is 100% honest. And I think you have to walk a delicate line of, am I saying too much? Am I not saying enough? How will this make me come off to other people? And I think that's what you have to do with a lot of things in everyday life.
Yeah, because there's a very delicate line between telling a lot of stuff of your disability and your diagnosis, and not telling and letting people know a lot. And the other side, it's don't tell the enough information so the people doesn't know what you have, and then they have to be understandable or of what happens to you.
For sure. Yeah, no, you're completely right.
That actually answers the next question. How do you deal with bullying?
Well, it actually really upset me when I have been picked on or when I have been bullied. But at the end of the day, like I said, you just kind of have to brush it off and come back the next day bigger and stronger. If you let other people run your life, where is that going to get you?
Yeah.
You just have to continue to do you, know that you're telling the truth, and get up and keep going.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to this interview?
I think I think y'all's questions have given me everything that I would ever want to say in an interview like this. So no, I think I'm good. Just like I said, to anybody out there who's fighting right now, just don't give up. There are answers, and there are lots of reasons to keep living and to keep doing what you're doing. So know that you're important and the world's better with you in it.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for
course.
wanting to do this, and thank you, Tiff, again for contacting her and letting us know all this story of you and your whole
Yeah.
situation, and that. So as I said, every single like week or day or two, we're gonna have another guest like Sarah with other stories and other things they want to say. So thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you, Sarah and Tiff, for being with me in this episode. So if you like this episode, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And see you next time.